Want to be featured on the Rock Metal Podcast just like all the other great bands you've heard up to this point? Go ahead and hit me up, therockmetalpodcast@gmail.com. Let me know. Let's work out the deets. The Rock Metal Podcast, episode 41 with Peronicus. Then I am recording this. Let's get started. Rock Metal Nation, I've got on the line today Peronicus, a heavy metal band from Ottawa, and I'm super stoked to have them on. Today I am joined by a member of Peronicus, Brendan. So Brendan, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Now, Brendan, why don't you go ahead and tell Rock Metal Nation a bit about yourself, maybe what inspired you to get into music?
Well, what inspired me to get into music is just essentially how music inspires people. You know, it's always been something that's touched me very dearly in the sense, like, you can listen to one song and it make you cry, then the next song you want to mosh your face off. So that's always been very interesting to me. And the start of Peronicus was more or less just John and I, we met up and had some of the same views with music and how, you know, exactly like you say, how it inspires us. And whenever you meet someone with the same views, you tend to connect very well. So here we are.
That is true. I was just thinking that is a great rapport building activity. Just
absolutely.
You know, one song makes you want to cry, one song makes you want to mosh. Maybe one song makes you do both. Who knows? A crying mosh pit. That's something uplifting.
Yeah.
Next to laughing mosh pit, like laughing meditation next to laughing mosh pits. We're going to start a thing, Brendan. It's going to be good.
Yeah, sounds great. We'll all dress up in clown suits and just kind of like pointing at each other and throw pies.
I like it. With Peronicus playing live. It's going to be good.
Of course. Yeah. Who else would be fun?
Now, you kind of touched on it briefly because my next question is, what's the story behind how the current lineup found each other? And you did mention a little bit about that you and John met up. You had some similar views on music. I was curious if there's anything to expand on that.
There is quite the story there. I kind of figured that question was coming, so I tried to cut myself off there in the last question. But yeah, so John and I met each other 5 years ago, and that's whenever Peronicus truly started. So it is quite some time in the working. We've gone through a couple of different guitarists through then. And then it wasn't about till 2.5 years ago, I kind of finally say, like, let's stop looking for guitarists. So I'm originally the bassist of the band. So we stopped looking for guitarist. I picked up the guitar. I have this fancy little looper pedal, and that loop pedal essentially replaced the bassist. So what I do is I run my guitar through an octave pedal into the loop pedal, loop the octave pedal, and then that's your bass track. And then I'll solo with guitar over top of that. So once we finally did that, we're like, all right, this sound is really working for us. We're really enjoying it. We need a vocalist, though. So we're all in a band called Cat's Pajamin'. It's our funk rock project.
What? Yes.
So one day we're playing in Cat's Pajamin', and John and I stop. I play bass in Cat's. John plays a guitar opposed to drums. And then our drummer in Cat's Pajamin' is Ryan. So we all stop and we start talking about Peronicus. And of course, Ryan, the drummer, is like, hey, you know, I used to do vocals in a metal band. We're like, yeah, I'm sure you can think of the look on our faces. We're like, well, this is a no-brainer. Yeah, come join Peronicus and do vocals for us. So it's a lot of fun because, you know, one practice we're doing Cat's Pajamin', next practice we're doing Peronicus, and you can kind of see the two genres bleeding through each other in the two different bands. It gives you an interesting writing perspective. But yeah, and then that's pretty much how the lineup to date came around, and we're really happy with it. Ryan is super high energy on stage, bounces around and runs into the crowd a lot. I focus on playing both bass and guitar, and then John he's an incredible machine on drums. So yeah.
Wow. I was waiting for you to say that you run something through another loop pedal. You're like, so I run the bass to the loop pedal through an octave, and then we get the bass or the guitar through the loop pedal, and then for this we run this through the loop pedal and we get the vocals. I don't know, I just for some reason.
Yeah, just a very extensive loop pedal kind of thing. It's definitely a good tool to have.
Yeah, no, I agree. And then so basically you guys play musical chairs and you change bands, which is really awesome. And then Ryan runs out into the crowd, and sometimes you get him back, sometimes you don't. And
that's the most important. So there has been a few times where we haven't gotten him back.
If there's girls out there, they're vicious. Those.
Oh yeah. He's pretty handsome too.
Wouldn't doubt it. Wouldn't doubt it. If he's in Peronicus, he's probably a good-looking guy.
Yeah.
Which, my next question is, what inspired the name Peronicus?
That's always a good one. So it was, the never-ending search for a name whenever you first start a band. And, of course, you come through a million names that are awesome, and then you can never find one that isn't taken. So we're actually big Trailer Park Boys fans. And one day we're watching the second season of Trailer Park Boys. Ricky's growing some dope plants, and there's little black bugs on them everywhere. And he says, like, what are these bugs? They're like Peronicus. They're everywhere. Julian looks at him. He's like, what do you mean Peronicus? You mean piranhas? It's like, yeah, that's what I said, Peronicus. So I know it's kind of a silly story on how you come across a name, but both John and I were like, hey, that sounds actually really good. And then I drew up a logo, and we had a friend of ours actually kind of design it and put it through like Photoshop and everything, and next thing you know, we're Peronicus. We like it.
Next thing you know, you're on the Rock Metal podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Woo! We like the name because it's just a one-word name, kind of rolls off the tongue. So, yeah.
I agree with you. And it's also like a folklore. So all of your fans who are listening to the show who may not have known that, all your future fans who are currently listening to the show who now know that as well. It's one of those things where it's like trivia, Peronicus trivia. Where does it come from? And then everybody's going to go back, watch that Trailer Park Boys episode, right?
Yeah.
It's going to become a thing.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Yeah, we kind of play off the Trailer Park Boys theme a little bit, in the sense of like some of our songs are named after them and stuff. So it's it's pretty fun. Yeah.
I dig it. All right. So when you guys get together to write songs, now you mentioned you guys all are pretty multi-instrumental. So I'm curious, when you guys get together to write songs, what's that process like?
It's really interesting, actually. Usually it's just John and I. Now we have there's three different ways we write songs. Either I compose a song and bring it to the band and work on it with John when he has drums. John writes a song, brings it to me. I pick up the guitar riff and we work on it together, or we obviously both sit down and work on something. It's always an interesting process writing songs, though, with Peronicus, because I am running my guitar through that loop station and like octave pedal. So I'm constantly, I don't really take a guitarist stance on writing a song. I'm often thinking bass. I'm originally a bass player, so that's like my first intentions of a song is like, how is this going to be rhythmically appealing, and how's the bass going to flow? So a lot of my guitar riffs, they're very bass oriented and rhythmic, opposed to just thinking of, melodies and stuff like that. So it's a really interesting process in the sense that it's just we kind of try to look outside the box of a normal sort of song formula, and like I say, try to make it appealing to the ear and, well, all senses really. So especially taste.
Especially taste. I was going to say, as soon as you said that it's bass guitar orientated, I was immediately thinking, well, that's why there's A, so many girls at your show, and B, why you miss Ryan so many times, because you're getting girls to dance with your bass. And,
exactly. Yeah. They love that bass, man.
They do. Bound chicka wow. Yeah. Now, speaking of out of the box of normal sound formula appealing to all senses, let's go and listen to the first track, Pandora's Curse. come back from Pandora's Curse. When you said out of the box, I just had to. I just had to use a reference. Pandora's Curse, out of the box. You know what I'm saying? Okay, it fell flat. But either way, what didn't fall flat?
I'm picking up what you're laying down there. It was actually one time called Pandora's Box.
Mm-hmm.
And we ended up changing the name. It was a recording experience. The lyrics that Ryan wrote for the song originally were, not so PG, and we quickly changed them on the fly to sort of make everyone happy, and then we naturally just changed the name from Pandora's Box to Pandora's Curse. Mm-hmm. Maybe one day go back and rewrite a Pandora's Box and have a 2-part song. Huh?
Hey,
maybe.
There you go. There you go. I like all the depth that's going on. Now, you kind of touched on it a little bit, but what's the inspiration or story behind Pandora's Curse?
Originally, John and I wrote that song as an instrumental. Then once Ryan joined the band, he was like, I really like the song. I'm going to write some lyrics to it. It was right around the time the whole Harvard incident with, unconsented issues were going on, and people weren't getting charged. So we wrote this song. The first one was, like I say, the lyrics were a lot more edgy. So we went and rewrote them, and he made them, I guess you could say, a little bit more political in the sense of just like, well, if you listen to the song, you could hear the verse is, when the did unconsented become unsentenced. So, like I say, it was sort of pushing that idea in the sense of just where are we going these days in rights. That I don't want to get too political here, but like it is kind of fucked up, So.
Well, now I have to mark the podcast explicit.
Yeah. Anyways, that's sort of the long story behind the lyrics of it. But the funny thing was the original song we wrote, and we named it Pandora's Box, it was about a porno where a woman would essentially suck the soul out of a man whenever he finished. And like we both thought that was hilarious topic, so we just wrote a song about it.
There you go. All right.
It's funny some of the things that inspire you,
Well, this is true. All right, let's go and listen to the next track, Heat and Metal.
Waiting in line, I'll take
right, coming back from Heat and Metal, same question for you, Brendan. What is the inspiration and or story behind Heat and Metal?
That one's a good one. It was the first time Iron Maiden played Ottawa in 17 years, I think. They played Blues Fest, and needless to say, it was a really fun night. Lots of people there, lots of shenanigans, and it was hot. So it was one of the hottest days of the summer and on record at that time. So go see Iron Maiden, come back, buy the Ottawa Citizen, which is our newspaper. And on the front page of the art section was just this giant article that said Heat and Metal. And there's a picture of all the Iron Maiden fans just sweating beads down their face, and a full write-up on how Iron Maiden killed it, fans were happy, and it was hot. So we wrote this song. It's a bit more thrash opposed to, we've been getting people saying Pandora's Curse is a bit more death metal-ish kind of sound or metalcore. And that's the nice thing about these two songs, is that they sort of complement each other in the sense that they don't complement each other. They're two sort of different genres almost. So, but yeah, that's pretty much the story of Heat and Metal. It was just an Iron Maiden concert. Lots of fun.
All right, very cool. Now, speaking of concerts and all that wonderful stuff, what exciting news do you have coming up for Rock Metal Nation to pay attention to?
Well, we have a show coming up in Toronto on March 25th. It's at the Orb. It's called Junction Fest. Lots of cool bands on that one. And then in Ottawa, Gatineau, we have another show coming up in April. It's in the Gatineau area at Le Petit Chicago. For Strictly Peronicus news, we just got our physical copies of our demo in. So we're looking to sell some of those. It's really nice. It's $5. You get 6 tracks, one bonus track that you wouldn't get if you downloaded our EP. And then we're also making some hot sauce. I'm pretty excited. What? Yeah. I grew a bunch of hot peppers last year, and then we pickled them and blended them together, and now we have some crazy hot sauce. So Peronicus is going to melt your face off.
I dig it. I'm a chef, so as soon as you said that, I was like, what?
Oh, right on.
Yeah. Indeedly doozer. So, Rock Metal Nation, March 25th, if you are in the T-Dot area, they're going to be the Junction Fest at the Orb, correct?
Yep.
Cool. All right, so March 25th, they're going to be in T-Dot, and then if you are in the Gatineau, Ottawa area, then they're going to be at the Petit Chicago in April. And then also as well, there's physical copies of the demo coming in. So if you dug the tracks that you heard here and you want to go download it, you're definitely free to do that. But if you pick up a physical copy for $5, you're going to get a bonus track that you wouldn't get if you downloaded the demo. So if you dug what you listened to here, my next logical question is going to fit totally well, which is, how can Rock Metal Nation find out more about you? Is there a website they should go to?
Well, right now we just rock on Facebook and Twitter. So if you find Peronicus on either Facebook or Twitter, you can follow us there. We also have a Bandcamp page, which is, again, just Peronicus. If you search that up, we'll pop up. There you can download our full album not full, our 5-song album. Full album is hard copy. But you can download that for free at Bandcamp. And then, just follow us on all the Twitter. We also have Instagram, all that kind of fun stuff. We also have our music on Spotify, Deezer, Rhapsody, Google Play, iTunes, all of those cool streaming sites as well. So,
all right. So once again, Rock Metal Nation, if you dug what you heard here today, you can check them out on Facebook or Twitter. Just look up Peronicus. They're also available on Bandcamp, where you can download the songs that you just heard today, along with 2 other songs.
Yep.
But 3 other songs for free. And then also as well, they've got an Instagram if you're an Instagrammer. And then one of my personal favorites is Spotify and iTunes, so you can go ahead and definitely check them out there if you are on the Spotify and the iTunes. And then as well, if you want to pick up those physical copies, so you can get the bonus track and actually hold one in your hand. You can hold Peronicus in your hand.
Hold it. Feel it.
Then go ahead and do that. So, Brendan, unless there's anything else you wanted to throw out there, I just wanted to thank you for coming on to the Rock Metal Podcast and sharing all of your beautiful creativity with Rock Metal Nation.
Absolutely. I want to thank you for having me, and keep up the good work, man. It was really enjoyable. It's always nice to see more people like yourself out there.
Rock Metal Nation, hopefully you just found your new favorite band in Peronicus. Big thanks again for them coming on and sharing their music with us. Make sure to head over to www.rockmetal.com. And until then, rock on, Rock Metal Nation.